You're looking at the latest BMW 530i. This one in particular comes with the Msport Kit. The kidney grille is much more wider now, and so is the LED lights. The rear LED lights, I like it very much because of it kind of stands out in the dark. It also has a black border, maybe that's the reason why it stands out. With Msport Kit, you will also find an M badge on the sides of the car, as well as the calipers would be painted blue or red, and you'll also find an M badge on the rims. The front and the rear bumpers are also different when you purchase the M Sport Kit. The other specialty would be the air vents that automatically open and close in between the BMW kidney grille. On the inside, you'll find the touch controls are all high gloss black, and it has the dashboard which is in a special carbon finish. The leather, as expected from a BMW, it's thick and nice to feel. But to be honest, the seats are not very comfortable, although it's got all the adjustments you need. For the rear side, you have a decent space, not that great. Being a rear wheel sedan, you'll actually find a hump between the two rear seat passengers. You will find light aluminium buttons on the sides of the doors, which is basically typical function of unlocking and locking the doors and windows. You'll also find a nice giant sized Harman Kardon speakers in metal finish. King size buttons to lock and unlock the doors does help, and there's another Harman Kardon speaker right on the top next to your ears. Just under the dashboard, you will actually find two cup holders you can just slide to open, and in fact in one of them you can have an ashtray. You will also find a lighter next to it. You also have a USB-A port as well as a wireless charging pad. Wireless charging is quite quick. You just put the phone in and it starts charging immediately, and you can just push to seal everything back. As you can see, the glove box has a decent space inside. The driver's armrest can be split open. There's a decent space inside, and you will also find a USB-C port. And you will also find two additional USB-C ports for the rear passengers. They can also place their phones on top of it. But unfortunately, there's no way to hide the cables in this case. There's a nice leather elastic holder to place your documents and files in there. Rear passengers will also have a nice wide armrest and decent cup holders. Right next to the gear, you can choose different driving modes. So you have the sport mode, the comfort mode, and the eco mode. You can also enable your parking sensor, and you can click this to see different angles of your cameras. The handbrake is also available at the same spot. You can also enable and disable the auto hold. The BMW Intelligent Personal Assistant is one of the latest innovations from BMW. You can basically say anything to the car and it will change the settings for you. It's as good as telling a real person, so you can actually say you're feeling cold, it will try to reduce the temperature for you. You can say to close the windows, you can ask the car when is the next service due, what's the tire pressure like. You say anything to it and it would immediately respond to you like a normal human being. So that's the best part. You can even change radio stations. Just say, hey BMW, change the radio station to channel 4, and that's it, it's going to change to channel 4. You can reduce the volume, increase the volume by just saying reduce the volume or increase the volume.
The air conditioning system is already turned on.
You can activate the listening by calling the personal assistant by calling it hey BMW or hi or hello BMW. And if you want to change the BMW, you can change it to a different name and just call it say hey Lisa or hi Lisa or hello Lisa. These will be the typical radio buttons to change channels, and you will also find a dedicated knob to power on, change the volume, switch it off. This is the next exciting feature of this vehicle. You can simply move your fingers to it to switch on the stations, to switch off, to change the channels, to change the volume. And as you can see, as I move my finger to the right, it changes the stations, and as I rotate, it increases the volume. And as I use my two index fingers, it kind of switches off the channel. You can also access the touchscreen by using the buttons found in the center. You have a dedicated button for radio, navigation, telephone, and also a big scroll wheel, along with you can move up, down, left, right, also right on top of it. So let's see what's available in the menu. So you've got media controls here. You can change channels, you can select your favorites, you can save stations, and you can manually search, etc. You also have CarPlay, so you can use Apple CarPlay as well. Then if you go to navigation, you can search for destinations by writing on top of the button found in the center. Then you have the driving information about the performance on the car. You can see the vehicle status in terms of engine oil, tire pressure. You can choose between different driving modes. You can have different settings for exterior and interior lighting, and you want how the car should behave when you approach the vehicle as well. You have plenty of options for driver assistance. You can adjust speed limits, enable, disable the steering assist, etc. For instrument cluster, you can decide what you want to see. You can have multiple driver profiles in this vehicle, so you can save different settings for different drivers. You also have the entire handbook in here. In terms of media, you've got video, documentation, and nice quick guides and tips. It's kind of very handy, and it shows you everything step by step through a video, so which is quite good. It's a very practical and good looking gear knob, but it feels plastic on the back side for a luxurious car. You basically have to press the side button to move to different gears. It's got a dedicated parking button. The moment you put the car in reverse, you can see different views of the car using the different camera angles from the top, from the side, and a 3D visualization is created on the screen. This 3D view is possible with the help of cameras placed around the vehicle. The leather steering wheel is standard, and if you purchase an M kit, then you will find an M badge at the bottom of the steering wheel. The instrument cluster will impress any driver, mainly its quality of the color display. It's actually a static display, except for the center where you will find geographic locations. And you can have three different kinds of themes depending on your driving mode. The seat adjustments are completely electronic, which will also include the headrests. The BMW 530i car key is pretty good looking. It's sleek, it's modern, and if you notice carefully, this one's a part of the Msport Kit. So even the key has this M stripe on high gloss black on the sides, which makes the key look even more cooler. And it's got basic functionalities. If you look at it, it's just about unlocking the doors, lock the doors, open the boot, and the alarm. You can also take out the car key by just pressing this button. So if you're giving it for valet, you can just make sure that the glove box is in your hands. You can also use the same key to open the doors in case your battery dies out as well. Putting back the key and taking it out is quite simple and straightforward. The boot space in the 530i is standard. Well, let's say it's decent. No complaints about that one. As you can see, it's quite spacious. Thanks for watching the video.